Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take the latest stack of source material, sharpen the focus, and deliver the crucial knowledge you need.
Glad to be here.
Today, we are digging into something that is really shifting the ground beneath our feet online. The research is calling it the AI interface war.
And it's the perfect term, really. It gets right to the heart of the stakes.
Which are what, exactly?
Well, for the last 20 years, the internet had a pretty clear front door. You had the browser, you had the search engine, and you got a list of links.
The 10 blue links.
10 blue links, exactly. But the sources we're looking at are saying that entire system is fracturing. The old fight for search rankings is, it's quickly becoming a fight for conversational control.
Conversational control. So we're talking about distribution.
It's all about distribution. Whoever wins this new gatekeeping role, whoever ends up controlling that default interface you talk to.
They could own the next decade.
I mean, we're talking advertising, influence, commerce, the whole 9 yards. So our mission today is to break down how this is happening, how AI is transforming that specific crucial function.
Okay, so let's start with that historical context. You mentioned it felt stable for a long time.
It did. The browser was just a neutral vessel, right? And the search engine was the traffic cop, the main distribution engine.
You type in a question.
And it would send you out to a bunch of different websites. That was the whole economy, the link economy.
A referral economy. Every click was a vote, in a way. It supported the person who made the content.
And that's the system that's breaking. AI just collapses the distance between the question and the answer.
So instead of getting 10 choices,
You increasingly get one. One direct, synthesized, conclusive answer. Now, this has been building for a while, but the research suggests that by 2026, this whole shift from search to chat, from a browser to a proactive assistant, it's going to feel completely unavoidable.
So we're moving from, let's say, manual information gathering to automated information delivery.
That's the core shift.
Yeah. And that takes us right to the first and maybe the most immediate consequence of this war. The control of that interface is really about controlling attention.
And ultimately, behavior. The most tangible effect, the one that digital publishers and creators are feeling right now, is a huge reduction in outbound clicks.
Let's break that down, because that's the economic bedrock we're talking about, isn't it?
It is.
So if I ask my AI, what are the 5 best family activities in Rome this weekend? The old Google gives me 5 travel blogs.
Right. And you click through to them.
But the new AI interface,
It just gives you the answer. A perfect synthesized list. The 5 activities, the hours, maybe even a link to book tickets, all right there in the chat.
and if I get that perfect itinerary, I have absolutely no reason to click out to the original blogs that did all the research.
Zero incentive. And users, of course, love the convenience. It's fictionless.
Of course.
But the open web, its whole economic model depends on that traffic. The AI interface basically becomes a walled garden. It keeps you happy inside the platform.
And that's not just a theory. We're talking about huge amounts of referral revenue just vanishing.
Vanishing overnight for publishers. If their content is just used as, fuel for the AI summary, but they don't get the click,
The model doesn't work. It's unsustainable.
it's a real dilemma. The AI uses the content of the open web to make its answers better, but in the process, it kind of starves the very ecosystem it's feeding on.
Which forces a huge strategic change for anyone who relied on that organic discovery.
A massive pivot, yeah.
Okay, so if traffic is drying up, the other big consequence has to be the money trail, the advertising model.
And the sources say this is an even bigger deal than the traffic shift.
How so? The old model was simple, right? You had clear, marked ads alongside the search results.
Totally clear. But the new model just dissolves those boundaries. It's moving to placing offers, recommendations, product comparisons inside the conversational answer itself.
Which leads to this phenomenon you're calling advertising blending. But wait a minute. If the AI is designed to sound neutral, to be helpful and advisory, how does a normal person even tell the difference between honest advice and a paid promotion?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question. When a promotion is seamlessly woven into a synthesis, that line between neutral advice and advertising just becomes opaque.
So you ask for the best running shoe.
And the AI suggests a brand. It might be based on features, sure, but it could also be based on a high-value affiliate partnership the platform has. The platform's incentive can subtly shift.
From helping me to helping their bottom line.
Exactly. Maximizing their revenue, not necessarily giving you the purely objective best answer for you.
So the problem isn't that the ad is there, it's that it's disguised as neutral information.
That's a fundamental change in the trust dynamic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because we trust the AI to synthesize facts, so when it slips in a suggestion that's really a promotion, That suggestion inherits that layer of assumed neutrality.
And that blending of info and promotion leads us right into the third big transformation: structural influence and framing.
Right. This is about the power of the default answer.
Because if that AI summary is the first impression you get on a complex topic,
Or a controversial one, even.
yeah, the platform's framing, what it includes, what it leaves out, what it treats as authoritative, that holds incredible power.
Think about it. You're asking about, I don't know, a new environmental policy or maybe two competing health theories. The platform decides what the default viewpoint is. That curation is an exercise of structural power.
And it's so potent because it feels passive. You don't feel like you're being steered, but you are.
You are. The research is clear that this power is structural. It's not about malice necessarily. It's just that whoever curates the summary, whoever synthesizes the information, holds disproportionate power over how that knowledge gets understood. They set the frame.
And setting the frame is one thing, but the sources get into something even more radical, which is the mechanism itself. The rise of the AI browser as an operating layer, a personal agent.
Yeah, this is a big one. The browser stops being passive. It's not just showing you pages anymore. It becomes an execution layer.
Meaning
Meaning it can actively read the page for you. It can summarize documents, fill out complex forms. It can compare the price of a product across 6 different stores.
and then buy it for me.
And then execute the purchase, all in one conversation. It basically becomes your digital butler or your fiduciary.
That sounds, incredibly convenient. But if it's acting on my behalf, booking my travel,
Yeah.
comparing prices, whose best interests is it actually serving? Mine or the platform with the highest commission?
That's the hard question, isn't it? The convenience comes with a real potential loss of your own agency if you're not paying attention.
How transparent is that decision-making process?
Exactly. And maybe more importantly, what level of deep access have you given it to your email, your calendar, your bank accounts? It needs that access to be effective, but that centralizes a phenomenal amount of power.
Which is why the sources describe this as a fierce platform war dynamic. The prize is total control of distribution.
It is. And the
Right.
winner is whoever becomes the default. Because defaults are so sticky, user habits form almost instantly around convenience.
And we're seeing this convergence everywhere. Your phone assistant, your desktop browser, your search bar.
They're all fusing together into one single unified AI layer.
And once that layer becomes the default, you stop actively choosing which tool to use. You just accept what it gives you.
You spend less time choosing and more time accepting. And that acceptance, that's the ultimate prize in this war.
It is. Okay, let's pivot for a second and look at the practical side of this. Given this big structural change, what do the key players need to do? How do they adapt?
Right. Everyone in the digital economy has to recalibrate.
Let's start with the people on the front lines, publishers and creators. If search referrals are, as the sources say, profoundly fragile, where do they go?
The shift has to be, well, radical. From chasing clicks to building loyalty.
Direct relationships.
Direct audience relationships, 100%. This means you have to invest in things AI can't easily synthesize. Proprietary newsletters, real subscription offerings, private communities.
Things with a moat around them.
Exactly. Or even video platforms where the content is consumed right there so you don't need that outbound link. You're moving from a transient audience to a loyal one.
That's a huge shift. What about brands and retailers? They spent fortunes on SEO for decades.
Their whole world is getting more complex. It's not just about optimizing keywords for an algorithm anymore.
So what are they optimizing for now?
They have to optimize for how an AI system describes and compares their brand in a conversation, which means product data quality, structured information, reputation signals. Those things become paramount.
So the AI agent needs perfect, clean data to work with.
Flawless data. Or you risk being left out of the conversation entirely. If the AI says, I recommend brand X because it has a 4.8-star rating, that rating is suddenly more important than any keyword ever was.
Because it's an objective, structured signal.
Precisely.
And then there are the regulators and policymakers. How do they see this?
For them, this isn't really a tech issue. It's a competition and transparency problem.
A market structure problem.
Exactly. The sources point to a few key areas. First, you need clear disclosure rules for sponsored placements inside these answers. Second, you need accountability for harmful or biased outputs. And third, you have to ensure fair access for smaller players, so this doesn't just become a closed loop run by 2 or 3 tech giants.
Okay, that covers the big players. But let's bring it back to the person listening. The everyday user who is dealing with these interfaces right now. What does this all mean for you?
The single most practical skill you can develop is something the sources call skepticism with convenience.
I like that.
These interfaces are incredibly useful, right? They give you immediate answers, but that convenience always comes at a cost.
The cost is compressed context.
It's compressed context. It does the thinking for you, but it hides the work. So your job as the user has to shift to verification.
You have to become the editor.
Absolutely. And the research gives us two essential questions that you should learn to ask every single time you get one of these AI answers. You need to push back on the interface.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first is simple. Based on what sources? You have to demand transparency.
And the second question?
The second one restores that context the AI took away. What did it leave out?
Oh, that's a great one.
Those two questions immediately force the interface to kind of show its hand, to unpack its context and expose any blending or framing it might have tried. If you use those two questions, you get your agency back.
So to pull this all together, the web isn't going away, but its front door is changing radically. We're going from an information retrieval economy links to a knowledge synthesis economy conversation.
And the battle is for that conversational interface, the layer that decides what you see, what you trust, and what you do next.
That interface war is defining the market right now.
It is. And whoever wins that layer is going to shape the next decade of distribution, commerce, and influence. Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought from the source material.
And what's that?
It's this. Will the rest of us, the users, the publishers, the creators, will we notice the full extent of this power shift, this huge structural change, before it has become completely and irreversibly cemented?
A profound question to keep in mind. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.